Hi guys, and welcome back to Petrolhead Podcasts. The Lucid Gravity is a highly anticipated second model from the California-based EV startup that follows on from the impressive Lucid Air, an award-winning vehicle that has garnered widespread praise both for its sporty driving dynamics as well as its excellent range. But is the Gravity as impressive as the Air? And more importantly, is it the best premium three-row electric SUV money can buy? Join me as I go through an in-depth comparison to give you the answer. Today, we will be comparing the 2025 Lucid Gravity Grand Touring, which has a starting MSRP of $96,625 against three other excellent three-row electric SUVs under the $100,000 price point. Firstly, we have an iconic vehicle that kickstarted this segment nearly 10 years ago in the 2025 Tesla Model X Plaid, with a starting MSRP of $96,630. Next, we have another entrant from an award-winning EV startup in the 2025 Rivian R1S Dual Max with a performance upgrade, with a starting MSRP of $96,700. Lastly, we have one of the most impressive entrants yet from a traditional automaker in the 2025 Volvo EX90 Twin Motor Performance Ultra, with a starting MSRP of $90,640. First of all, in terms of exterior styling, the Lucid Gravity is full of road presence. Up front, the signature Lucid grille and slim headlights from the Lucid Air carry over and work well on the vehicle. This is combined with a large lower grille section and side vents that look good. On the side, the profile of the Gravity is unfortunately more minivan than SUV, but the aerodynamic shape nevertheless still impresses with features such as the floating roof, narrow glass house, the contrasting colors for the D-pillar and flush door handles. Round back, the vehicle looks sporty, with the tapering roofline and similar trunk and tail lights as the Lucid Air. Moving on to the Tesla Model X, which has an old-feeling design. Up front, the vehicle looks decent, but the design of the grille and headlights have not changed since 2016 and feels old. On the side, the profile of the Model X is not the best, with a bloated feeling, and the design is also too similar to the Model Y, although the unique falcon wing doors remains a showpiece and highlight. Round back, the tapering roofline, spoiler and Tesla script on the trunk door are the highlights of an otherwise dated rear end. The Rivian R1S has a unique off-roader vibe. Up front, the signature Rivian pill-shaped headlights and light bar gives the R1S a very recognizable design. On the side, the upright and more traditional proportions compared to the Lucid and Tesla look better in my opinion, with the squared-off wheel arches, high ground clearance and contrasting roof color being highlights. Round back, the R1S has good-looking forward taillights but otherwise looks rather plain. Lastly, the Volvo EX90, similar to the Rivian, has a more traditional design. Up front, the vehicle looks good, with a modernized version of the signature Volvo Thor's hammer design headlights and a big Volvo logo. On the side, the vehicle looks like an electric Volvo XC90 with a traditional upright SUV profile that gives it a substantial and familiar feel. Round back is probably the EX90's most unique angle, with the futuristic C-shaped taillights, lights either side of the trunk window, and an interesting indent in the trunk door that houses the Volvo script. Overall, for designs, the best for me is the Rivian, which has a tough, distinctive look with good proportions. In second is the Volvo, which also has a traditional design with good proportions and some interesting design elements, although it feels more generic than the other cars here. In third is the Lucid, which has good road presence, but the minivan-like side profile is not the best. In last is the Tesla, which looks very old by comparison to the others. Moving on to the interiors, the Lucid Gravity has a modern-feeling cabin, a continuous 34-inch display that houses both the instrument cluster and central infotainment display, and a 12.6-inch screen for vehicle controls are the centerpieces of a minimalist and modern-feeling interior. Material quality is generally good, but not outstanding, with a lot of sustainable materials that don't feel the most premium. The interesting steering wheel shape, lots of storage areas, and massive glass roof are highlights. Standard equipment includes heated front seats, 4-zone climate control, and a panoramic sunroof. However, items such as a 360-degree camera, head-up display, third-row seating, ventilated front seats, massaging seats, heated rear seats, premium audio system, and even a heated steering wheel are optional despite the really high starting price. In terms of practicality, the Gravity is very good, featuring up to 120 cubic feet of storage space behind the first row, and includes a frunk. The Tesla Model X has a decent cabin. The general design still feels really modern after all these years, thanks to a 2021 interior refresh that introduced a new dashboard layout. Highlights include a 17-inch touchscreen with tilt functionality, the rear seat entertainment display, and thankfully the Model X, unlike the Model 3 and Model Y, still retains a 12.3-inch instrument cluster. The yoke steering wheel feels futuristic, although the lack of physical stalks for indicators is an annoyance. Material quality is very good in the Tesla, with a lot of soft touch plastics, leatherette, and wood finishes. although build quality is not quite as good as the Volvo. In terms of standard equipment, the Tesla is very good, featuring 6 seats, heated seats for all 3 rows, ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, a 22-speaker premium audio system, 3-zone climate control, and a panoramic roof, although a head-up display, massaging seats, and 360-degree camera are not available. In terms of practicality, the Model X is good, with up to 92 cubic feet of cargo capacity behind the front seats and includes a frunk as well. The Rivian R1S has a purposeful feeling cabin. The off-road theme carries over to the interior with rugged feeling materials and design. The 15.6-inch infotainment display and 12.3-inch instrument cluster are surrounded by attractive wood and metal finishes and an open feeling inside. There's a lot of center console storage. Material and build quality in the Rivian is good but not outstanding, with many of the surfaces prioritizing durability over luxury. In terms of standard equipment, the R1S is decent, featuring 7 seats, heated seats for all 3 rows, ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, 3-zone climate control, a panoramic roof, and a 360-degree camera, although the 18-speaker premium audio system is optional and there is no head-up display or massaging seats available. In terms of practicality, the Rivian is good as well, with a maximum of 90.7 cubic feet of cargo capacity behind the front row, and a frunk is included as well. Lastly, the Volvo has an impressive cabin. The EX90 has an expensive feeling cabin that has the best build quality out of the 4 cars. The EX90 has a good blend between traditional controls and modern features and an upmarket design. The Volvo features a vertically oriented 14.5-inch infotainment display and a 9-inch display serving as a gauge cluster. Material quality in the Volvo is generally pretty good, although there are still hard-touch plastics in places such as the bottom parts of the door cards. In terms of standard equipment, the EX90 is excellent, featuring 7 seats, a heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated front seats, heated rear seats, 4-zone climate control, 360-degree camera, head-up display, massaging front seats, a panoramic roof, a Bose premium audio system, among other items. The EX90's practicality is not the best, however, with the smallest amount of space behind the front seats at 67.6 cubic feet. A frunk is also standard in the EX90. Overall, for interiors, the best is the Volvo, which combines excellent build quality with an upmarket design and exceptional levels of standard equipment. In second place is the Tesla, which has a well-thought-out cabin with a lot of standard features and technology and good materials. In third place is the Lucid, which has a very modern and spacious cabin, but suffers from the worst standard equipment of the 4 cars. In last is the Rivian, which feels the most utilitarian inside, and standard specification is also not the best. In terms of drivetrains, the Lucid Gravity features a dual-motor all-wheel drive setup, paired with a 120 kilowatt-hour battery, developing a maximum output of 828 horsepower and 909 pound-feet of torque. The Gravity rides on height-adjustable air suspension with adaptive damping. The optional dynamic handling package upgrades the air suspension from a single chamber to a 3-chamber system and adds rear-wheel steering. The Gravity accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.4 seconds and achieves an impressive EPA estimated range of 450 miles. The Gravity uses the 800-volt architecture, supporting over 300 kilowatts of peak charge rate, and can add 200 miles of range in 15 minutes. The Tesla Model X Plaid has a tri-motor all-wheel drive setup paired with a 100 kilowatt-hour battery with a maximum output of 1020 horsepower and 1050 pound-feet of torque. The Model X rides on height-adjustable air suspension with adaptive damping. The Tesla accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.5 seconds and has an EPA estimated range of 314 miles. The Tesla supports the 400-volt architecture with a peak charge rate of 250 kilowatts and can add up to 171 miles in 15 minutes. The Rivian R1S Dual Max with the performance upgrade has a dual motor all-wheel drive setup paired with a 141.5 kilowatt-hour battery, developing 665 horsepower and 829 pound-feet of torque. The Rivian has height-adjustable air suspension with adaptive damping. The R1S accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.4 seconds and has an EPA estimated range of 410 miles. The Rivian uses the 400-volt architecture with a peak charge rate of 220 kilowatts and can add 140 miles of range in 20 minutes. The Volvo EX90 twin-motor performance has a dual-motor all-wheel drive setup paired with a 111 kilowatt-hour battery, producing a maximum output of 510 horsepower and 671 pound-feet of torque. The EX90 rides on height-adjustable air suspension with adaptive damping. The EX90 accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds and achieves an EPA estimated range of 310 miles. The EX90 uses the 400-volt architecture with a peak charge rate of 250 kilowatts and can go from 10 to 80% of charge in 30 minutes, which is equivalent to adding 217 miles of range. In terms of drivetrains, the most impressive is the Lucid, which is second only to the Tesla in terms of power and acceleration, has by far the highest range, and is the only vehicle to support the 800-volt architecture, ensuring it also has the highest peak charge rates. In second place is the Tesla, which is by far the most powerful, has the fastest acceleration and the second fastest charge speeds. However, the Model X's range, while still good, cannot match the Rivian and Lucid. In third place is the Rivian, which has very good range and is more than fast enough. However, it has the lowest peak charge rate. In last is the Volvo, which still has a very good drivetrain and isolation, but unfortunately is outclassed against the other three cars, being the least powerful, the slowest to accelerate, and has the lowest range figure. In terms of driving experience, the Lucid Gravity is very good. The car feels refined and isolated with very good ride quality while retaining good body control with minimal side-to-side motions. The brakes do not have the best feel, however. The Gravity feels sporty for a large SUV, with an agile feeling through corners with low body roll for this class of car. This is combined with a steering that feels well-weighted and quick to respond as well. The motors, while down on power compared to the Tesla, still feels more than quick enough in the real world, being smooth and powerful. The Tesla's driving experience is very good as well. Just like the Lucid, the vehicle has excellent handling for a large SUV, feeling planted and sure-footed with minimal body lean. The steering is also direct and sharp. The tri-motor setup gives the Model X insane levels of acceleration unmatched by any of the other three vehicles, and the brakes are decent but do tend to overheat with enthusiastic driving. The ride quality, while still good, is not quite as advanced as the Lucid, lacking composure when dealing with larger bumps and continuous undulations. The vehicle feels pretty quiet on the move except for some wind noise that comes through. The Rivian's driving experience is also good. The motors are smooth and more than powerful enough in the real world. The R1S has decent, although rather light steering. Ride comfort and quietness have both been much improved compared to the first generation R1S, but there remains a firmness to the ride, especially for rear seat passengers compared to the other cars that is not ideal. Body control and handling are both good and improved compared to the first generation vehicle, although it does not handle quite as well as the Lucid and Tesla, being taller and more off-road focused. The Volvo has a well-balanced driving experience. The EX90 has probably the best ride comfort and is the quietest of the four cars, feeling extremely smooth, serene and isolated on the mover that makes it an excellent highway cruiser. The steering has decent feedback and the powertrain has good, although not outstanding power. While body motions are well controlled, there is a lack of sharpness and excitement to the driving experience compared to the Lucid and Tesla, and the vehicle is not as agile and does not handle as well. Overall, for driving experience, the Lucid is the best of the four cars, blending a very comfortable ride with excellent power and handling for this size of vehicle. In second place is the Volvo, which is by far the quietest and is the most serene and comfortable experience, but is lacking in driving engagement. In third is the Tesla, which is very entertaining to drive thanks to the massive power and handles well, but the ride comfort and quietness are not as good as the Lucid and Volvo. In last is the Rivian, which is much improved compared to the previous generation model, but is not quite on the same level in terms of ride comfort as the Volvo, and the handling is not as good as the Lucid and Tesla. So overall, which is the best three-row premium electric SUV? Personally, the Volvo is the winner here. The EX90 looks good, has a great interior with excellent levels of standard specification, and the best ride quality of the four cars. However, the vehicle's range and acceleration, while both decent, are the worst of the four cars. The Lucid takes second. The Gravity has an amazing drivetrain that delivers best-in-class range and great power and acceleration, and an excellent driving experience. Unfortunately, it looks like a minivan from certain angles, and standard specification is seriously lacking for the near $100,000 starting price. In third place is the Tesla. The Model X has by far the most power and the best acceleration, an interior with great technology and standard specification and good handling. Unfortunately, the vehicle feels very dated. The ride quality and quietness are not as good as the Lucid and Volvo, and Tesla quirks such as the lack of stalks and a 360-degree camera remain. In last is the Rivian, which does not drive as well as the other cars and has a utilitarian feeling interior, although it does have an attractive look and very good range. So what do you guys think of this conclusion, and what are your thoughts on these four three-row electric SUVs? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, please like this video and subscribe to my channel to be the first to see more amazing content like this in the future. Cheers!